Welcome back to Sikkim 365 Radio. It's time for Craig Smoak's Off the Radar. Brought to you by Pickup Outfitters. Since 1997, we've been outfitting trucks, SUVs, and vans at 220 Lake Air Drive or createacommotion.com.
All right, welcome back in Sikkim 365 Radio. Time for Off the Radar, taking a look at some stories that we might not normally touch on in our usual conversations surrounding the Cowboys and college football at large, but I will have some NFL and college football notes in this segment on the regular, and I actually will start off with some college athletics. Credit to Ross Dellinger for putting this up and also Open Doors for compiling the information, but I did find it interesting, how much name, image, likeness has kind of gone to the wayside as we've gotten into the season. I mean, think about when we were talking about that over the summer and the hand-wringing that was going on, and I mean, is college football still okay with name, image, likeness? Has anybody diva'd off their team or, nothing, right? I mean, there's really been no interruptions as a result of name, image, likeness, but it was just interesting to Open Doors put together some info to let you know kind of where NIL sits as we are halfway through the football season. The Big Ten is the top top conference in terms of athlete compensation. The Big 12 is number 2.
Are they really?
Yeah. They are actually up. So I don't know
because of Spencer Rattler's money?
I don't know. I don't know why they're up, but they're number 2. ACC's number 3, SEC 4, Pac-12 5, and Conference USA now number 6. Sun Belt, Big East, American at number 9, and the Mountain West is the 10th best in terms of total compensation through the month of September. So yeah, kind of interesting there. Also, this is what Ross pointed out. Football and men's basketball account for nearly 80% of the name, image, likeness compensation, football and men's basketball. So all the other sports combined for obviously 20%.
Although that's actually a smaller number than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be 90. So
no, there you go.
I thought it was going to be 90. So that's good news. I mean, that doesn't sound it, but that's kind of good news.
I think the Cavender twins, I don't know if you guys have heard about Haley and Hannah.
Gymnasts, right?
They're the Instagram girls. I think they probably are the other 20%.
Very well could be, yeah.
Fresno State, yeah.
Yeah, they very well might be, and I'm sure they are a big part of that chunk that's the non-football or men's basketball. But yeah, football and men's basketball, about 80% of the compensation. I also pointed out that 87% of the NIL activities have been about posting content. Mm-hmm. That's it. Just posting content has been 87% of the name, image, likeness money that has flowed through. And, I guess what else has it been? Autograph signings, for businesses, commercials, I suppose, things like that. But mostly it's like, hey, eat at this place because I love their hot dog, or whatever it is that I've seen college kids do. It's not swayed me one iota to do or buy anything, but I'm sure it has for others.
But we're not the ones. And I get, I have a nephew who desperately wants to be a YouTube star. And I'm trying to tell him that, listen, buddy, I'm not saying that you can't. It's hard for me to say that when we love YouTube and it's
you don't want it to cut into your revenue.
But but I'm telling him it took us, we're not new to this business. It took us a long time to even get this kind of notoriety that we do, so you got to have a backup plan. But when all that young people see, and I can't blame them, look, if I could figure out a job where it was like, hey, yo, check me out. Yeah. It's me and my boy Smokey and Craig. We're here. We're eating chicken wings. Yeah. What's up? Eat these chicken wings. And somebody gave me $10,000 for that. I would do that job.
Yeah.
What if it was sauerkraut?
Whatever it was. Okay. I don't care.
What if it was you have to be in a parade?
I can be bought.
You have to give
while dressed and as a member of a marching band in the parade.
I can be bought.
Okay, Halloween candy.
I can be bought.
To kids.
He's let it be known he's going to be bought.
I can be bought. All right. I have no integrity.
Right. Yeah, so 87% of the NIL stuff has been just posting content, like eat these chicken wings that are great or whatever. But the other note that he had, on average, the Division I athlete this year, because of name, image, likeness, on average across the board, all sports, the amount of money made per athlete is $391. So obviously, some are getting less. Some are getting way more.
We know
Bryce
somebody's
Young
getting $1 million, right?
Yeah, so it makes you wonder. Obviously, there's many getting zero. So, on average, $391 per athlete.
But then I'll tell you, so all these people that are wringing their hands about NIL, you're talking about a 1%, which is how the society works, is the top 1%. And then you're kicking up a fuss because a kid might get $400. I mean,
as
come
one
on.
guy responded to Ross's tweet, his name's just Tell Him, so shout out to you. But he said NCAA fought for years over $341 per athlete.
Yeah, and of course we're talking about those in swimming, maybe equestrian,
all the sports.
Yeah, and it's like, and that's not. I still think 80% is less. Like Paul, you said, I thought it would be like 85 to 90%. But Blake, Paul, did Snoop Minnis drive a Bentley at Florida State?
I'll tell you this is funny. Snoop Minnis was my meteorology lab partner.
Did he drive a Bentley?
At that time, he did not drive a Bentley. He had it was a pretty nice Ford
Range
Explorer.
Rover?
It was a very nice Florida Explorer or Expedition. It was not a Bentley. Now, maybe later he had one, but yeah.
That was one of my favorite names growing up, Snoop Minnis. Also,
great guy.
Yeah. Did he do his fair share of
Did he give you
lab
any
work?
Did he do his fair share of lab work? He was always there.
Were you his tutor?
I helped him a little bit.
Let's take away that 93 national
Elsewhere, top sports for NIL compensation. This is a great chart that Open Doors and Ross had. Football, 55.4% of the compensation. Men's basketball, 13.4%. Then it's women's volleyball, women's basketball, women's swim and diving. Those are the 3, 4, and 5 spots in terms of the top 5 sports. So football, men's basketball, no surprise, women's volleyball, women's basketball, women's swim and diving. And the least active in terms of name, image, likeness is women's soccer, only making up 1% of the total distribution or compensation. So,
but Jack is giving the Baylor soccer team.
He is.
That must be the 1% we're talking about.
He is. So, in addition to posting content, there's other activities that are listed. I don't know, maybe those are like blogs or something like that. Licensing rights, creating content. But yeah, posting content is a big king. So, just a little bit of an update there on name, image, likeness. Kind of interesting to see how that is. How that has gone on. Tonight in the NFL, we're going to have Broncos and Browns at 7:20. Baker Mayfield's going to play, but it's known that he's going to have surgery on his torn labrum probably after the season. Also, Teddy Bridgewater is going to start tonight as well. So Broncos and Browns later on this evening, Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, Baker and Case Keenum, I think you're going to see more Case Keenum than Baker. I know that there was a report yesterday that Case Keenum's going to start. Baker, that's rough for the Browns. I feel bad for them because, look, Kareem Hunt's out. Nick Chubb is out. Jarvis Landry's been out.
He's coming back tonight, by the way.
Yeah,
he's expected to come back. Also.
You have all these guys that have been gone. So that's a team that's good and but has been hit by the injury bug. So we'll see. I think the Browns are maybe a next year team at this point.
Yeah, kind of disappointing, right? I mean, just given sort of the expectations coming in, but Baker is banged up, and it does sound like he's going to have surgery after the offseason. So we will see, and wouldn't be surprised, Paul, if we see more than just him back there at quarterback. But, yeah, you got Broncos and Browns later on tonight in the NFL. College football tonight, Louisiana and Arkansas State on ESPNU. A little Billy Napier action. SMU, number 21 team in the country, unbeaten. They're at home tonight at Gerald Ford Stadium, taking on Tulane on ESPN at 7:30. FAU Charlotte, also San Jose State and UNLV. 11 p.m. kickoff for that one. So if you want a little late-night action.
By that game, the Astros would have stopped scoring.
Yes, most likely. So that does lead me to the MLB postseason tonight. We will get Game 5 of the NLCS. Starting just after 8 o'clock. Or is this Central Time again? I can never tell on these. But regardless, tonight, Braves-Dodgers, Game 5. Braves looking to close it out and book themselves a trip to the series.
Anyone else think that they remind you of the Nationals, or the Nationals just purely more speed? They had power with Soto and all that, but they kind of remind me of the Nationals.
Yeah, a little bit. The Nationals had, speed, but the Nationals, they're a good mix of veterans and young players. Yeah, and the Braves are doing it without a couple of guys for a long season. They've been out for the year, so if they make it,
Acuna, right?
Yeah, that's their. That's their future.
Yeah.
And Freddie Freeman about to be a free agent, so it'd be nice to see if the Braves won the World Series, if they wind up losing him, which I can't imagine him playing anywhere else, but you never know, for him to get a World Series with them.
And tomorrow night, the ALCS will resume. So that leads me to, how you feeling, Paul? Astros now up 3-2. The game tomorrow night's in Houston. be Eovaldi versus Garcia as far as the pitching matchup goes. So
that series ended when Altuve hit the home run to tie Game 4, 2-2.
I agree with you, although it makes me feel good that Evaldi's on the mound to start. He's been fantastic all year long. He's an ace now. But, I don't know, the Red Sox bats have to wake back up again. I mean, they went to sleep, after the first inning in Game 4. So, I don't know. I'm not confident. And the issues that they've had all year kind of creep up to them. Either way, neither team is really playing all that well as they head into the World Series. So if the Braves if the Dodgers come back or the Braves win, I think they'd have to feel pretty good about the teams that they've got matchup-wise because they have problems that you just can't solve in the postseason.
The Astros and Red Sox are like two heavyweight fighters who just keep knocking each other's butt on the canvas. Like it reminded me of Ron Lyle. And was it Ken Norton or Lyle and Foreman, whoever that fight was back in the 70s, that just beat the hell out of each other? All right.
Elsewhere in the NFL, the Washington football team, there's the big rumor yesterday, great. John McClain talking about Deshaun Watson. And apparently Deshaun Watson, potentially being on the move to the Miami Dolphins. That was the team that he had mentioned as being nearing a deal with the Houston Texans. Now, nothing has come of that just yet, but it didn't stop everybody from, getting way ahead and saying, okay, well, if Deshaun goes to Miami, then, what happens with Tua and what happens here and what happens there and, the subsequent domino effect. But Albert Breer did report that regardless of if a Watson to Dolphins deal does get done between the two teams, that the Washington football team is unlikely to be in the mix for Tua Tagovailoa. So that was a little rumor going around with the Watson news, but it doesn't appear that Washington is interested in Tua.
No,
at least that's what they're saying.
All that is putting a Band-Aid on what you have right now.
That's what they're saying, of course.
Yeah, and it would be interesting to see the Texans aren't playing Watson because he told them he never intended to play for them anymore. And they're playing him now not to play. So what happens, when the Dolphins maybe just play him in spite, because the NFL hasn't suspended him yet. And our friend Dan Lust has tweeted out several pretty interesting things about this, saying, look, if the reason for the suspension is what he did, then he should be suspended, or what he's alleged to do, he should be on that NFL reserve, whatever the list is now. And then if the Dolphins decide to play him, it shouldn't be he's on the list. He should be on the list because of what has happened.
Yeah.
Not what the Dolphins are going to play him. And Roger Goodell doesn't have to right now because they're not playing him, but he should be on there regardless.
Yeah, it's a weird, awkward situation there.
Yep, and I will close it on out with some NBA versus China news. Enes Kanter, he is somebody who is not afraid to speak his mind. Enes Kanter with some shots on China's leader, calling him a brutal dictator. Kanter posted a bunch of different social media posts yesterday. He talked about cultural genocide in Tibet. He talked a lot about China and their treatment of others and whatnot.
Like the Uyghurs?
Yeah, and so he was getting into all that, and he's been very outspoken, at times. But we know what happened with China and the Rockets and the NBA, not that long ago. So in response, Chinese internet technology company that is called Tencent, they had agreed to a 5-year, $1.5 billion deal with the NBA in 2019. So that deal's not even, I guess, maybe about 2 years old at this point. So he goes on and he makes those comments, and within a very certain amount of time, all Boston Celtics highlights were completely off of their platforms. Like, you couldn't find stuff for them, so they just saw Enes Kanter's comments and basically wiped them off of their little Tencent platform.
Good for you, Enes Kanter. He's not welcome in his home country of Turkey because he's talked about what a despot Erdogan is, and I admire him for being so brave and bold, because
I'm surprised he hadn't been suspended by the NBA.
There are a lot of players in the NBA who were not.
He had the balls to say what a lot of people probably should have been saying, especially during a lot of the controversies when the NBA wanted to worry about some things that were valuable, relevant, and in some cases maybe overblown. But my God, Thank God somebody finally said. Remember when the Rockets GM, Morey, whatever, he said something and everyone just jumped him.
Oh, yeah.
Just jumped all over him.
Yeah, I mean,
all right.
LeBron didn't want to stop cashing those checks, or nor did Adam Silver or anybody else that's got any direct influence. I mean, we know what it is. It's all about money. That's all it is. They don't care about the, people being hurt or whatever. They're getting their money from China. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not even knocking it. I'm just stating what's true. So, yeah, he made those, and they wiped off all the Celtics highlights. They took down the stream links. And they weren't visible on the website anymore.
So the Celtics are no longer a part of the NBA.
China has eliminated the Celtics from the NBA. But yeah, he even wore free to bet on his shoes last night. Like, he does not care. I will say this about Enes Kanter: he really is. He's got balls. He's taking on a whole country and just not backing down and does not care. He just keeps talking. So I mean, I give him a lot of credit for being a very strong individual and not backing down in any way. Whether it has an effect or not, who knows? But yeah, good for him.
Good for him. He's my favorite player now in the NBA.
Yeah, there's a few stories that are off the radar.
All right, back to the Cavender twins. Evaluation prepared by the marketing platform in April. This is about the NIL thing that Craig was giving those stats, which were remarkable, the data. Individual social media accounts are each worth $45,000 annually. The shared TikTok, more than $520,000 annually. A single branded post from the account would be worth $35,000. Added in a shared YouTube channel, those two shared accounts alone could pull in as much as $600,000 a year.
Yeah, I never jumped on the tip. I mean, like, there's been too many apps and stuff. I've lessened rather than kept adding and never taken part in TikTok. I know it's so popular and whatever. I just don't care. But yeah, I mean, good for them. I mean, social media it's incredible. I mean, I don't know what the appeal is for a lot of people to just fork over, cash constantly for just like random stuff. But there's people found a market. That market's exploded, and people like that are, succeeding. So good for them.
When we come back, a former Abilene